I'm off to work. Should be back before midnight, so we can celebrate your birthday then.
My cousin's scurrying around the cramped bookshop as her eyes scan the termite-molested bookshelf for her things.
Do you know where my hat is?
Okay, fine, here. I resentfully pull out the plush something skin cushion from beneath me and fling it at her.
Thanks.
Miss Sarkoska is coming over at 9ish to get her copy of Cuddly Dudley's Delights. Tell her that we tried our best, but couldn't get all the tartar sauce stains cleaned out. Also, we don't stop her special request order, but she may want to ask at Broad Betty's Brothel. And she's probably invited for her book restoration, but don't let her push it under the price of 2 grails, okay? Tell her that I'm going to find hard cover because it looks like a dog with cheese on it.
Look, I'm really tired, and it's barely morning. Can I...
Look, Theo, I don't really care. It's not my fault you came back at 3 in the morning.
Anyway, how else are we supposed to pay Carvalho? Remember the last time that creep was here?
Fuck, don't remind me. That asshole runs a local gang, and through them everything that goes on near Monger Street. Since book selling and restoration is an extremely slow business, I had recently failed to comply with their protection premiums. His lackey dickheads took that as incentive to punch me through the window and curb stomp my face in.
I know it's tough, but those mother fudgers are going to be back next week and we're still 150 grails short.
Alright, fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Don't worry. Stefanos pays pretty well. And if you add on what you've been making here, we should be all right.
Concealing a lead pipe in her boot, she wraps herself in a moth-eaten cloak.
All right. I'm off then.
Yo, be careful out there.
Don't
get the wrong idea. I just want to make sure that slice of cake you promised me makes its way home.
Happy birthday again.
Without the icing smeared off, please. Remember, end peace. The door swings shut. I stop for a moment, then walk over to the front door and peep through. As I see Ayame briskly walk down the cobblestone street and disappear down the murky lantern light, I discard my facade of blurry-eyed laziness and dart towards the bookshelf at the far end of the shop. I grab hold of the planks and start pulling myself up. The planks creak and groan underneath my weight, but I carry on. There is too much riding on today. I stretch my hand up and start feeling the top shelf of my kit. Nothing but cobwebs and dust. I left it here. I fucking know I left it here. The wood groans dangerously beneath me, but just before the cracked timber can succumb to my weight, my hand stumbles across the backstrap and I immediately drop off, dragging the bag down with me. The landing bites into my knees, but I ignore the pain. There's no time for kissing owies and nursing boo-boos tonight. There is too much at stake tonight. So I zip open my bag and start preheating this oven. Ghost, get your ass off the bench, man. It's game time. My eyes roll back and I mechanically extract the ingredients out of the bag. Shrapnel, casing, black powder. Within seconds, I have several sticks of dynamite right in my lap. I hide the used mortar and pestle under a loose floorboard and carefully place the bombs next to the rest of my goodies. Explosives, rope, a skanky blue dress. Yeah, looks like everything is here. Concluding my supply check, I zip my kit shut with a grim finality. This is really happening. Hesitating for a moment, I punch in the code to Ayame's Castile. 1018. My birthday. As I glance down at its contents, man, I feel horrible. About lying to Ayame, about the position I'm probably going to be putting her in. But I've got no choice. Taking a deep, raspy breath, I reach out and plant the brown envelope inside. The annoying ping registers that the till is once again locked and my ass is now roastward bound. See, because there's a 98% chance that my birthday is also going to be the day I kick it. There's a good chance that the next time my cousin sees me, I'm going to be gray and powdery inside an urn. That's if my bullet-riddled corpse doesn't dissolve in the sewers. But this is the asswipe of a hand fate has dealt me. So I shake off as much of the fear and dread as I can and exit the shop. As I disappear down the murky street, a closed for business sign bids me farewell. Shit. Considering the sheer idiocy of my plan, I might as well hang that sucker around my head.
Humanity, act on your destiny, boom! This is Torture from the band, A Broken Silence. And right now you're listening to SOB.
Ah, shit. Last night got pretty crazy, didn't it? I'm sorry you guys had to walk in on me like that. That cliche waking up in a cold sweat gimmicks really played out, isn't it? Yeah, I really don't want to start us off like that. How did I want to start us off? Well, I'm not rich enough to fork over for coffee and cakes, but I bought some introductions. Name's Theo. Theo... something. I know. Stupid, right? Don't know my own last name? Well, if I'm being completely honest, truth is, I don't really remember. The white coats say, trauma does that. Apparently it's supposed to be your mind's way of protecting you from events that are too horrible to keep replaying over in your head. I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid, right? Because if that were true, then how come I remember everything that happened that night Ashido slaughtered my family, huh? Or every terrible thing that has happened since? Honestly, the only silver lining to the shitstorm that is my life has got to be my little brother Yomi. He's the only thing that's kept me sane over the past 10 years. He was 3 when it happened, so he doesn't remember. He doesn't wake up cold and sweaty in the middle of the night screaming and cussing at some warped remix of the bloodbath. If there was ever a thing I could be grateful for. Our friends and neighbors afforded us all the sympathy due to the newly orphaned, but the omnipresent hard times charged kind action with a price no one could afford. We were alone. Evicted and helpless, I took Yomi and left our hometown of Myria for the shit-tropolis Winston. I thought we had some distant relatives over here, and shit, who knows? Maybe they'd take us in, right? Our family was never rich or anything. In fact, we were probably a toot scrape from skint. So it wasn't a shock that our inheritance was little more than the clothes on our back, the lint in our pockets, and whatever gunk we could scrape off the kitchen floor that wasn't caked in my family's blood. No money for trains, carriages, or even a fucking piggyback ride. We walked for weeks, man, hoping to make it to Winston, hoping for some kind of future in which we still had a pulse. It was hard. It was hard. My shoes wore off my feet. My back was peppered with pebbles from sleeping on the hard-ass ground. I don't think that there was a single night where I slept with a full stomach or a single morning where I woke to find that sleep hadn't soothed our aching tum-tums. Shit, even a gang of bandits tried to mug us. However, after these fine gentlemen figured out they just wasted their time on a bunch of broke, homeless orphans, they simply did us the benevolent courtesy of taking their frustration out on us. Needless to say that by the time I finally reached my somehow related family's door, I was cold, hungry, miserable, busted up, and just plain beaten.
So let me paint the scene for you, because this wasn't a bunch of puppy dog-eyed orphans who just showed up at this man's door. No,
I'm not exactly known for my looks, so I can only interpolate that I wasn't the cutest of kids.
So imagine when this guy opens the door to this ratty, crusty-eyed kid who looks like he's been dragged across Satan's taint, just whimpering at him.
Please. I think you know us. I think you might have known our mom.
And I froze. Shit, I don't know what to say to the guy. What did I expect this bearded, scary-looking guy to do?
He doesn't owe us anything. As far as he knows, I'm just some random gutter punk who's claiming some supposed family relation. Look around, there's no shortage of street rats who do the same thing.
Times were hard. It was nearly impossible to keep yourself from going to bed hungry. Never mind adding another couple of mouths to feed. But you know what happened next? Before I could turn around and leave, the guy hugged me.
I've been looking everywhere for you two. Everywhere. But your bloody neighbors let you guys leave. Idiots. Oh, they should have been looking after you till I got there. Yoko would have had my neck if she knew. Come on out of the cold. Come on. You kids like Ratloaf? Ayame, come out. Your cousins are here.
If Mizda hadn't taken Yomi and me in, man, he saved our lives, man. That guy was a rock star. Our uncle was a widower. It was his only family, but that day he used to say it grew by 2. He took care care of us, fed us, and gave us all the things that a kid needs, you know. Next few years were nice. Our uncle raised us along with his daughter. He had the same ambitions for us, same love for us. However, although he wanted us to become something more, an empty coin purse forced us to punch the clock too. This guy would work double shifts at the local foundry, trying to make sure that we never skipped a payment, never skipped a meal. And I'm not gonna bullshit you, I'm not gonna say we were living the high life, but we got by, you know? We were happy. But like all good things, it came to an end. See, because shit went down. The sort that makes you feel that whoever writes your fate, yeah, that cat's a cruel douchebag with a little too much free time. See, because when Ayame and I were barely 15, we were left alone again. The Foundry's management threw around deep sympathies and unavoidable accident, trying to cover their ass from the fact that they'd skimmed on basic safety measures. Their greed on saving a couple extra grails on chintzy-ass heat sensors caused Mizda his limbs and Ayame her father. But what difference does it make, right? Who could we have complained to? How could things possibly get worse? And it was like the sky darkened, the ground tore apart, fire and brimstone exploded out, and old Red and Horny himself jumped out and laughed.
Watch this.
Coughing up blood, inches from being another statistic, my uncle let slip that Ayame was sick. She looked fine, sure. But behind the bright eyes, a terrible hereditary fucker was about to ravage and rob her of her sight. Too much? My friend, we have not even started yet. According to Mizda, he had been sneaking my brother medicine to suppress a lung-festering illness without his knowledge. However, the virus had grown immune to the medication, and although he'd been desperately searching for an alternative treatment, the doctors kept maintaining there was none. They said that the disease would malignantly take my brother's entire respiratory system, reducing him to a broken lump, painfully gasping for breath until that was even impossible. See what I mean? You could wipe your ass with toilet paper and sell it as my memoirs. And I'm not even the tough one, man. They're stronger than me, both of them, Yomi and Ayame. They handled this shit way better than I did. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say that I had some golden life-defining moment in which I manned up, grew a pair, and decided to fate, destiny, and the universe a new one. No, I didn't. Instead, I responded in a much more human way. I became scared. Maybe had I not been, I wouldn't have resorted to today's genius brainchild. God, I cannot believe I'm fucking doing this. After we buried Mizda, I continued his crusade of finding a cure. After incessantly pestering and getting rejected by every healer, barber surgeon, and doctor in Winston, one of them gave me the same no medicine, no treatment spiel, but he said that there was a trial therapy going on that could help. Now, according to him, it was conducted on the opposite end of the country, in the southern slopes of Mount Cavite. And now, according to him, the only reason I wasn't told about this treatment was because I did not look like the sort of person with 45,000 grails to pay for it. They were right. I am the kind of person who has never even seen anybody with that kind of money, let alone have it. But I didn't care. I was hellbound on saving Yomi. I would move any mountain, deal with any devil. And that is where I fucked up. Stupidity and desperation? Class, can anyone tell me the difference? Because after what I resorted to, I don't think there is one. Blinded by some paternal fury, obsessed with his safety, I was driven to deal with the vicious loan shark, Dwight Aniello, and dive into his debt. Never told Ayame and Yomi about it. Didn't want to worry them, more like didn't want their feet up my ass, because we've all seen what happens to the mangled corpses that couldn't cough up. But that was a problem for another day. And even though I have to deal with that on the plus side, Yomi's got hope, right? This therapy, I was told it was mildly invasive. It would only last a couple of hours, but in order to ensure that his symptoms would not resurface, the doctors would have to keep him under close observation for 2 years. And although Ayame and I could go and stay with him, the trip to and back would only further drown us in debt. So roughly a year ago, Yomi left us. My brother left us. While I was left to pull us clear of Aniello's jaws, Yomi was bound east towards Mount K-Vive and towards health. So while Ayame grinded away her shifts at bakeries, kitchens, or any place that'll let her make a coin without putting her in danger of getting an STD, I'd work the counter at Golden Books or shop. On slow days, I'd do some odd jobs, cleaning, delivering packages, whatever it took. However, it soon became clear that whatever we were doing was not enough. We were gonna fall well short of the mark, and unless we stumbled on a magic lamp or a fucking treasure map, we were fucked. Luckily, this fight isn't as completely, hopelessly, shittily one-sided as it seems. Remember that ghost thing back at the shop? Now, I know this is not something you guys have come across before, but I've always had it. Always been able to use it like some sort of superpower. Well, okay, that's sort of an exaggeration. It's more of a knack, really. So, check it out. I can flick through any instructional book and perfectly replicate the actions inside. Nobody apart from Yomi and I may know about it. My brother says that whenever my ability kicks in, my eyes roll completely back until you can only see the whites. He was so freaked out the first time it happened, he thought I'd been possessed by a ghost. So, my name stuck. However, Ghost does have a lot of downsides. Although I can absorb the information by tearing through the book, I don't really understand any of it. Also, whenever I absorb a book, I get really ill. Like runny nose, nausea, fever, the works. Normally, it'll wear off after a day, but the thicker the book, the longer I feel like Donkey Dick. Also, right after Ghost kicks in and I complete the task, I immediately feel mentally and physically drained. It's like I'm being taxed the effort I need to do the job on my own, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. Because ghost or no ghost, as Aniello's deadline loomed closer with each second, I realized that morality had a price that I could no longer afford. If I wanted to live, I would have to accept it, become another thing wrong with this country. If you're judging me, then allow my rebuttal with the eloquent words of Aristotle, who said,
"'Tis better to be kicking ass than kissing it, mother bitch."
So I started poring over books on sleight of hand tricks and pickpocketing. While Ayame was off at work, I would close Golden Books early and emerge into the dense throngs that dwelled in the marketplace. By the time I'd leave, my pockets would bulge with anything my sticky fingers would cling to. You would not believe the crap some people carry around in their pockets. I would need to sift banknotes and coins out of disgusting amalgams of fruit pits, veneers, and some very, very bad smelling lint that may have been belly button flaw. However, despite my moral denunciation and my monetary promotion, Monger Street's friendly neighborhood thuggalo, Carvalho, is becoming increasingly greedy. You heard Ayame about what he did when he came over last time. That's the kind of lovely gentleman we're dealing with. His exorbitant extortion schemes were only deepening the squat hole that me and Ayame were in, which meant that 5-finger discounts were no longer gonna cut it. If I had any chance of not fucking being mauled by that crazy fucker on yellow, something drastic had to be done. So here we are. Remember that line about desperation and stupidity? Class, let's apply that crucial concept here once again. Your genius teacher is gonna attempt something that few have the balls, and more accurately, lack of brains to attempt. Today, I'm going to attempt what no one with the pulse or their insight still left inside their body has accomplished. Today, I'm gonna try to rob this country's richest mobster blind. Fuck.